Hello, I am Professor Sukant Chaudhury. Uh, in this series, we'll be dealing with Malinowski, Bronislaw Malinowski. Poland born, worked in England, and then did fieldwork among the Trobriand Islanders of New Guinea near Australia, New Zealand. All right. 1914 to 1918, intermittently. Intermittently means went in 1914, came back in 15, again went in 17, came back in 1918. What is so important, almost 4 long years intermittently, and he established fieldwork as a method uh, of study. Obviously, it is first-hand observation and lengthy fieldwork, at least 1 year. This is very important for him. And participant observation for the first time. Participant observation means you are observing the society from within. The researcher becomes a member of the society because of his long stay and his rapport establishment. He becomes a part and parcel of the society. These two are important. Lengthy fieldwork, participant observation. He also studied the people, culture, by knowing their language. No translator. All right. No interpreter. Good. So he is called father of functionalism. He gave the theory of functionalism and used functionalism as a method of studying culture. All right. His two books are most important. One came in 1922, the first one, based on this fieldwork. Argonauts of Western Pacific, 1922. And the second one came posthumously. His lifespan 1884, 1942. The second book came posthumously 1944. That is a scientific theory of culture where functionalism is well explained. In between, there are a few books, including Magic Among Ajande, then Sex and Repression in Savage Society, 1927, The Sexual Life of Savages, 1929. Well, we are interested in the functionalism concept. What is the idea? The idea is that culture is functional in nature. Because culture is functional, that's how society continues. But he's not talking about society, he's talking about only culture. And culture has produced the most important aspect, that is the social institution. Culture, then social institution. Social institution have the only purpose, that is serving the needs of the individual, satisfying the needs of the individual. And what are these needs? These needs are biological or psychological. So it is called biological functionalism or psychological functionalism. All right. So these needs are very important. And how these needs are satisfied, how these needs are fulfilled? Through culture only. Cultural responses. For example, obviously a layman, anyone will be surprised that who gives food? Who gives food? Nature or culture? Mostly the answer from the students would be nature. But nature gives everything. We don't eat everything. We don't eat everything. During Corona times, during Corona pandemic times, we came to know about what people are eating, what people are consuming as eatables. Good, that's their culture. Culture should be respected. All right. So, what cultural responses gives us, we eat that only. We consume that. For example, vegetarianism, non-vegetarianism. Long debate. Only 25% of the world are vegetarian. 75% are non-vegetarian. There are rituals constructed on this. Religious sermons constructed in it. So many things. So culture gives everything. This is what Malinowski is saying. Indispensability of culture. All right. So needs are important. He's talking about three types of needs: primary, secondary, tertiary. Okay. So his first point was everything given by culture is functional because through its activities, it runs itself as well as the culture. When culture runs, society continues like this. So, the important aspect is social institution. What is social institution doing? Satisfying the needs of the individual. How institutions are doing things, how institutions lead to function. Institutions provide a list of work for the individual, and the individual tries to perform the list of work through some norms. Individual is personal, through some material apparatus. The material apparatus may be symbolic. Most of our social relationships are symbolic, or maybe utilitarian item. Then activities are performed, which leads to function. I'll just show you. This is what he provided. All right. Or institutions, then charter, then personal, individuals, members of the society, norms, then material apparatus, bracketed, symbolic or utilitarian items, then activities leading to function. This chart. All right. And here we have found a most important aspect is culture. Culture has many aspects. Culture is a integrated whole which has many aspects like education, religion, everything. Okay, and it has got interactions, various interactions within it, and it copes with the environment. Culture copes with the environment. All right. Then there are many actions, activities, and attitudes which are found in family, kinship, community, and various institutions. Okay. Then there are many. The culture particularly tells the individual to interact among themselves. Therefore, culture is very important. Okay. So this culture is providing social institutions through which we have already discussed, we are fulfilling our needs, the individuals are fulfilling their needs, and that's how society continues. Okay. Now we'll come to three types of needs. First is primary or basic needs. Okay. This is primary or basic needs. Primary or basic needs, there are 7 primary or basic needs. There are 4 secondary or derived needs. There are 7 tertiary or principles of integration. The first 7 are basic needs and cultural responses. The first one is metabolism. The response is commissariat. What is commissariat? The food system. Number 2 is reproduction. How reproduction is done? According to kinship rules. The response is kinship. Number 3 is bodily comfort from rain, sun, and all this. And bodily comfort is through shelter. Culture as shelter, any type of shelter, maybe a cottage or a 5-star hotel or a palace. Safety, protection, movement, activities, growth, training, health, and hygiene. All right. So this is your primary needs. Then secondary needs are derived needs. The first one is the material aspect of culture, consumable items. They have to be controlled, they have to be sold, they have to be controlled, they have to be produced, they have to be renewed. Who is doing this? Economic organization, cultural response. All right. Second is the human behavior itself. Human behavior has to be proper, refined, and discipline. Who is doing this? The response is social control. Then human resources. Human resources have to be properly trained, properly produced, properly renewed. Who is doing this? Educational system. Okay. And then authority within which the whole society runs. It should be given with power. It should be given with force to obey its orders. Otherwise, how there will be a proper social system? Who is doing this? The response is political system. So there are four basic after basic needs, 4 derived needs or secondary needs. Okay, and four responses: economic organization, educational institutions, then social control and political organization. Finally, he's talking about how integration is achieved in the society through principles of integration. This is not nothing but the tertiary ones. There are seven again. How reproduction itself is a integrative need. It is response is kinship, marriage, clan, family, and all this. Then territorial integrity has to be there. Who is doing this? All those municipal corporation, the village councils, and all that. Then physiological, what is there inside the society? In primitive society, totem groups. In other societies, age groups. All this. And also there is a sexual division of labor. That is also physiological. Then what are the voluntary actions? There are many voluntary actions found in the society, activities. What are they? All those religious rituals. All those religious, the shaman in the primitive society, the priest here, and officials, doctors, teachers, engineers. They are all doing some kind of a this is occupational. This is occupational, and the voluntary things are like the aspects of recreation, sports, artistic expression, like this. Then status and positions, like peasant society, like slaves, like this. Then your integrate, total integration, that is totality as a society, tribe as a society, any society. So in this manner, these seven are producing integration to the society. So he has done it in a wonderful manner, and he has discussed the economic aspect there. Kula, you remember? In Kula, many islands are there. They meet and they exchange things. One is white shell necklaces and white shell. You know, no, it's not a white shell. It is red shell necklaces and bands, white shell bands. Uh, they are exchanging one clockwise, another anti-clockwise. There are three kinds of things to be exchanged: Vegua, Gimwali, and Basi. And these three things are exchanged. Then he's talking about rituals, how they reduce tension. For example, death ritual. When people come, they all express the immortality of the deceased, and that's how gradually the family comes back to normalcy. Well, the criticism of Malinowski are many, out of which one is over reliance on culture and over reliance of satisfaction of needs. Second is again he has ignored conflict and change. Third, he has also not taken time into consideration. However, looking at his analysis, it is seen that Malinowski is the father of functionalism, and he has also influenced Parsons and Merton, and his need based theory of functionalism is irreplaceable. Thank you very much.